here to talk a little bit about FEMeeting. FEMeeting is important and needed. It's more than a conference meeting professional artists and researchers. It is a community based on care, equality, and openness. And coming from a country where gender equality is quite established, during FEMeeting, I understand that there is much to be done still.
Connecting with the women in FEMeeting got me to think about how deep the network truly is, and that the global is so important in relationship to the hyperlocal. I wish there were FEMeeting groups in every city across the world, and that we could come together to imagine a better possible future.
I don't think I changed my perspective in any way. I think I confirmed things and found things that I already had as a perspective and was hard to find. So I kind of reconfirmed my perspective, which is about collaboration and sharing as opposed to competition. And the only thing that have been changed here, or has been changed, is that there are more of these collaborators, more of these people who think similarly.
How does it change my perspective? It certainly helped me to think about how I can extend similar opportunities to other people in my own networks. It's also helped me realize how much more I can do. Yeah, it's helped me realize how much more I can do.
I didn't know if I needed FEMeeting until I got there. And then it turned out I really needed FEMeeting. I didn't realize how the other spaces that I move through in my art and technology community, which are like really comfortable to me, and I've been a member of this community for like a good 20 years, but to be in a space where the voices aren't trying to speak over top of one another so much, to be in a space where the sort of like any sexualized tension, like being a woman at a conference, there's quite often this moment where people might be hitting on you or something like that. To just be in a space where none of that is going on just really gave me a and that's when I knew I needed FEMeeting.
I think I didn't change my perspective in being part of this community. I think it gets bigger, and I feel since the first moment I'm part of it. So it didn't change me. I think it changed all of us, and in a good, very good way, because we are making a very wild web.
FEMeeting has provided me with a laboratory of relevant ideas that can be analyzed, and most importantly, the ability to share ideas. Although I've not been able to be physically present, the context in itself has tangibility. The historical association of pandemic with war, on the one hand, and the fact that it is the first time in history that women can archive their records of a global pandemic and participate in its explorations throughout science and technology on the other end, has turned FEMeeting into a framework for critical, philosophical, and creative resistance. I responded to acquired immunity as an act of resistance from one of the dangers that the pandemic has amplified, the danger of prolonged isolation, which initially nourishes the mind and the self, but eventually becomes toxic. After a while, a solitude, body and mind simply disappear, dissolve into thin air. It turns invisible like a virus. The self is extinct. Acquired immunity was a way to acquire antibodies with which to resist the danger of disappearance. The antibodies were generated by the voices, the fears, the smiles, the novel concepts, and images of other women, which became effective through my invisible and visible immersion in the FEMeeting community. Thank you.
Absolutely, yes. There is a great crying need for FEMeeting to grow, for the community to grow. It is only going to be through the perspective of women, artists, scientists, interdisciplinary thinkers coming together to create the future that they imagine. We need it for the survival of the world.
I believe that there is a need for communities like FEMeeting because it is otherwise really difficult to find women working in this interdisciplinary field. Women bring a unique perspective to the field of sci-art, which I believe is much needed in the world, especially now.
Of course, there is a need of such a community. I think the future will be perhaps deepening already existing contacts, but developing ideas which are coming from this deepening of communication. Very often in international artistic forums or exhibitions, people meet for several days in the best case, sometimes for just several hours. They listen to each other's presentations, they look at each other's work, and it is very hard for them to establish deep communication, which is what actually creates the progress in art. Deeper exchanges, they happen if these connections are maintained over the years and if they are around production or around sharing of thoughts, not only around wonderful experience together. So I think since the FEMeeting is something that is anticipated or believed to continue to be happening in the future, I believe that a lot of these connections that are new to some of us will be deepening, maintaining the intellectual flow and collaborative ideas in the future and resulting in more production of art, shows, conferences, books, everything that is part of our world of art and innovation in both art, technology, and thought. So I just think that there will be an extension of what is already happening.
I see a lot of future for the FEMeeting because, well, I just participate in one, but I feel that it can grow up very easily just coming back here to my community in Mexico. And a lot of women are really interested in being part of it and to include all kind of vision to can change the society from the feminine perspective, but also very sensitive and creative way of abording not only problems, but abording other fictions and possibilities to create a better world.
For me, the future of FEMeeting is truly global and inclusive. It acts as a mentoring system for young women. And importantly, FEMeeting it's not about power or status. So I think it has a future for quite a long time yet.
I think FEMeeting is going to be with us for a long time, maybe even 100 years. I think that we live in an incredibly patriarchal culture. And I think that it is so ingrained in every aspect of society that even I am subject to and hold the ideas of a patriarchal value system. And as long as that's the case, we're going to need an organization that allows women to assert themselves as artists and technologists in our society to counteract that patriarchal stance.
I'd like to add that I feel ignited by the passion of all of you women who've come together.
FEMeeting, inspiring, stimulating, caring, supportive. You have my heart.
I'm Branda Miller. I'm the Arts and Education Coordinator at the Sanctuary for Independent Media in Troy, New York, and I'm a professor of media arts at RPI. And I am honored to be part of this community. Thank you, all of you. Lots of love.
I'm Louise Mackenzie, and I'm an artist and researcher based in the UK.
My name is Buriana Rosa. I'm a professor in the Department of Transmedia at Syracuse University, New York. But I'm also a Bulgarian artist. I was born in Bulgaria and have been living in the United States since 2005, but actively participating in the art world with my work, not only in the United States, but in Bulgaria and in Europe and around the world. Therefore, I identify as a transnational artist, born in Bulgaria and currently living in the United States.
So I'm Minerva Hernandez. I'm from Mexico, and I'm from the collective Arte Más Ciencia, Biocénica y Xochimilcas Disidentes.
My name is Hege Tapio. I come from Stavanger, the oil capital of Norway. Some of you might know me as the director of IOLAB Center for Future Arts, or as the curator for Article Biennial, or maybe as the artist that challenged the oil industry by making her own biofuel under the brand Human Fuel.
My name is Dr. Leonardo. I'm an artist, filmmaker, lecturer, and theorist. I work at the Aleph Trust in the UK, where I teach on the Master of Science program. I'm also a lecturer at the Department for the Study of Mysticism and Spirituality at Tzfat Academic College, and I am the creator of the Cybernetic Futures Institute.
I'm Fabi Borges. I'm from Brazil. I'm director and curator of SASI, Subjectivity, Art and Space Science, a platform of art and artistic residency at INPE, National Institute
that makes the community.
Refounding women in art, science and technology.